Good morning, everyone. On the fourth week of Advent, we light the fourth candle. The first week, we lit the candle of hope, and then the candle of love, then the candle of joy, and finally, the candle of peace. Because Jesus came into our world, we can have peace with God, we can have peace with each other, and ultimately, there is coming one day where there will be peace forever here on earth. Because Jesus came not as a conquering king condemning us and destroying us, but he came as the Prince of Peace. And I pray this morning that you know that peace, that Jesus in your life gives you peace in the midst of the chaos of our world, in the moments of despair that we all encounter. I pray that his supernatural peace comes over you, and I pray that your holiday this year is a day of great peace and joy, a day of hope and love. As we come to the end of Advent, I just wanted to close with some thoughts about Christmas. I love Christmas. I get really excited about it. I literally count down the days. There's just something about Christmas Day that feels so magical. I get really excited about it, even though I know I'm a grown up, but I still get excited about Christmas. And no, it's not just about the hope of getting more board games, even though I do love that. I look forward to getting more board games. I'm obsessed with them, as you know. But even besides that, for a day, we set aside all our conflicts and our worries and our fears, and we celebrate all that's good in our lives. And I just love that. I love that it's a day where we share gifts and we eat food and we sing songs and we laugh and we play games with family and friends. I love the feeling of a Christmas day. It just feels special. But to be honest, the day after Christmas, I always feel kind of down. It's kind of like, oh, it's over. Like, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of let down. The holidays, whether they're filled with joy or difficulty, whether they're filled with good memories for you or bad memories, the holidays always have an ending and they leave us kind of longing for more. The lights are going to come down and get packed away. The presents are going to be all unwrapped, and you're just going to have bags and bags of wrapping paper to recycle, and family starts to head home. And after Christmas, I always get a little depressed because it is so long until Christmas comes again. Literally, the day after Christmas is the farthest day from getting to celebrate Christmas again. You're 365 days away. Today, we're wrapping up our Advent series, and I want to do that by looking at the story of how the Bible ends. The Bible ends with this really unique scene, which people throughout all of scriptures have been waiting for. From the very first pages, everyone has been waiting for this scene of how the Bible ends in the book of Revelation. This scene where everything they hoped for has finally come true. Jesus the King has returned to rule and reign forever. He's returned and he's reuniting heaven and earth for all time. It's in Revelation chapter 21. Let's start reading in verse 3. I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people. He will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God." It reminds me of Emmanuel, God with us, but never to leave, God with us forever. He will wipe away every tear from their eye. There will be no more death. There will be no more mourning. There will be no more crying. There will be no more pain, for the old order of things has completely passed away. He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." And then he said to me, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true." He said to me, "It is done." It's immovable. This is gonna happen. This is it. Count on it. It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God, and they will be my children. As we've said over and over again, week after week, Advent is not just a celebration of Jesus coming to earth as a baby. We should celebrate that. I think that's a good thing. I think we should celebrate it. The reformer John Calvin put it like this: "It's good to set aside one day out of the year in which we remind ourselves of all the good that has occurred because of Christ's birth in the world, and in which we hear the story of his birth retold." But as we've said again and again throughout the series, Advent is also more than just celebrating baby Jesus. Advent is the anticipation of his return when every day will be Christmas forever. There will be one day, a day, where there is no day after Christmas. It is simply Jesus, God with us forever. The lights won't come down. The presents won't stop. The joy and laughter, family won't have to go away. It'll be a Christmas without end. And I think in our culture, there's a longing for that kind of day, even with all our commercialism and cynicism. There's this old Perry Como song that goes like this. I wish it could be Christmas. I'm not going to sing it. I'm a terrible singer. I got some of you, though. You thought I was really going to sing it. The lyrics go, I wish it could be Christmas forever. I wish that glow would never fade away. With friends and loved ones near us, round the Christmas tree so tall, we would hear the church bells ringing, Dear Lord, bless us one and all. I know I would be content now and forever if love and peace on earth would always stay. Christmas Day, there's just that extra layer of compassion. It feels like love and peace are on earth, and then December 26th comes, and it's over. And what Perry Como's singing about, I think, is an ache we all have, this desire, like, if love and peace on earth would stay. J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of Lord of the Rings, connected this deep longing for Christmas, this desire for a Christmas without end, to our desire for Eden, for the time when heaven and earth would be united. Tolkien wrote to his son one Christmas that we all long for Eden. We are constantly glimpsing it, glimpsing moments where our whole nature is at its best and least corrupted, at its gentleness and most humane. And he said this, we are all still soaked with this sense of exile. We've been exiled from the place that we really want to be. Looking over the entire span of Scripture, New York City pastor Timothy Keller saw the exact same theme in the Bible. This is how he described it. It is no coincidence that story after story in the Bible contains the pattern of exile. The message of the Bible is that the human race is a band of exiles trying to come home. Jesus had not come to simply deliver one nation from political oppression, but to save all of us from sin and evil and death itself. He came to bring the human race home. Therefore, he did not come in strength, but in weakness. He came and experienced the exile that we deserved. He was expelled from the presence of the Father. He was thrust into the darkness, the uttermost despair of spiritual alienation in our place. He took upon himself the full curse of human rebellion, cosmic homelessness, so that we could be welcomed into our true home. So many Christmas movies and songs and stories are about coming home. And there's something deep inside all of us that longs for home, to be safe and secure and feel warm and joy. I mean, just look at Hallmark movies, as cheesy as they are. Almost everyone is about this big city executive woman goes back to her small town home and she reconnects with her family and the hometown values, and then she falls in love with the handsome handyman and quits her job in the city, blah, blah, blah. But there's always something about coming home. We think about Christmas as coming home. We all have this desire to be safe and secure and warm and happy. We are exiles in a dark, cold, and broken world. And I think Christmas is like a holiday to remind us of the country we come from. Many times at Christmas you have rituals, you have customs, you have things that you do to remind yourself of home. And I think Christmas is a holiday to remind us of the world we come from, the world we are meant for. In Hebrews 11:13, it describes Christians as strangers and pilgrims on the earth. We are exiled, waiting for the kingdom that's our home, and we want to be with Jesus, and we're away. And Christmas is like a little reminder of our homeland. The traditions that remind you of home bring you comfort when you're far away from your physical home, and I think that's the ache we feel at Christmas. There's something about this holiday, this celebration, that reminds us of our true home with Christ, our true home in his coming kingdom when all wrongs will be set right. There's this German idea called Sehnsucht. Sehnsucht is this idea that there are facets of life that are unfinished or imperfect, and you have a deep yearning and like a real sense of an ideal. You're like, something is missing. I have this deep longing and desire for something because something's unfinished or imperfect in my life. They call it Sehnsucht, this deep yearning. According to the myth associated with the idea, humans originally had 2 heads and 4 arms and 4 legs, and they tried to scale up to heaven, and they were thrown down by the gods and split in half. And so we became what we are now, a human with 1 head and 2 arms and 2 legs. And they said every human being is going around desperately searching for their other half because they were separated, and now they are half of a whole. Now, while this idea is just complete myth and it comes from Greco-Roman and German paganism, there's some truth to that story. Every human you meet is incomplete, longing for the lost other half from which we were ripped apart. Every human you meet has a God-sized hole inside of them. We all long for the reunification of heaven and earth. We all long to be reconnected with God. We were ripped apart from that. We became exiles from Eden, where God and man walked side by side. There is coming a Christmas without end, where there will be no death or pain or mourning, where every loved one will be reunited with us, and we will dance and laugh and eat and sing without any dread of tomorrow. There will be no, Sunday scaries because we're dreading going back to work on Monday. There won't be anything like, oh, this vacation's about to come to an end and I got to go back and deal with this. There won't be any bills looming out in the future. It will just be a Christmas without end. The Alpha and the Omega, the God without end, will make a Christmas without ending. And Jesus, Emmanuel, will be forever and ever God with us. So what do we do with that today? Because we long for that. We have this ache for that. It speaks to something inside of us on Christmas, this ache and this longing for the day when it will be a Christmas without end. But what do we do with that now? The warmth of that eternal Christmas that is coming, that fire, should keep our hearts glowing with goodwill long after the Christmas decorations are put away. I think this poem from Norman Wesley Brooks is helpful. Here's what he says. Let every day be Christmas. Christmas is forever, not just for one day. For loving, sharing, and giving are not to be put away. Like bells and lights and tinsel in some box upon a shelf, the good you do for others is good you do yourself. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, kind thoughts and words of cheer are things we should use often and not just once a year. Remember too the Christ child grew up to be a man. To hide him in a cradle is not our dear Lord's plan. So keep the Christmas spirit, share it with others far and near, from week to week and month to month, and throughout the entire year. Everyone you meet is incomplete. They are longing for reunion with Jesus the Christ. And some of it are looking for it in a bottle, and some are looking for it in a relationship, and some are looking for it with accolades at work or in school. We are all trying to fill this God-sized hole inside of us. We long for this reunification between us and God. So as you encounter people, bring light to your coworkers and your neighbors and the stranger on the street. Might we carry the light and the hope of Jesus all year long, because the world many times is dark and scary and cold, and we hold a hope and a warmth because we are burning with the fire of an eternal Christmas that is coming, that we know we are heading towards, that has been set up and prepared for us. One day we will be with Jesus forever. So I pray that this Christmas season gives you a deep sense of longing, an ache, but also an eagerness, an unsettled desire, but an excitement for a day coming when you will be with Jesus forever. May you sense in it a call from your one true home, the place we really belong, the place that we are pilgrims heading back towards. May you get a sense that your one true home, Jesus' kingdom, is coming, rushing forward to soon welcome you forever into the arms of Jesus. And from all of us at Horizon, I hope that you and your family have a very Merry Christmas. And I pray that soon the world may experience a Christmas without end. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Joy, joy, joy.